I like the way it catches the gold on there, look. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on the ropes. Are you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, like me, or are you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out? I want to ask that question before we go into this show because it's very important. Is there any part of you that you think you will go Solskjaer out this season? Because I want to be Solskjaer in all of it. I want to be in all of it. Desperately want to be in. But he's on the ropes. And the reason he's on the ropes, I'm going to show it you straight away. This is the league table after 8 games last season. Manchester City have 20 points. Chelsea 8 points. United had 13 points. Right, so 13 points. 20 points for Manchester City. Look at the table now. Manchester United, after 4 games, we've got 5 points. 5 points we've got. We've got Leicester to come. We've got West Ham away. We've got Arsenal to come. And then we've got Newcastle away. How many points do you think we're going to take from Leicester at home, West Ham away, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away? Let's say we beat Newcastle 3. Let's say we beat Leicester. That's 6. West Ham away, Arsenal at home. Some would say we'll struggle to get 7. I'm going to be optimistic and say we get 9 points, right? 9 points onto there. 9 points onto 5 gives you 14 points, which would still put us better than what Mourinho was on, but still be quite a far away from the league, from the top of the league, right? But what if we don't beat Leicester? What if we draw with Leicester? What if we draw with West Ham? What if we lose to Arsenal and then we beat Newcastle? 5 points. 5 points onto 5 would have us on 10. Compared to last season, that wouldn't even have us in the top half of the table. And this is what I'm on about. This is what I mean. As a Manchester United fan, this next month for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is huge. It's absolutely huge. We've only got 5 points. In 4 games' time, most of the top 4 will be touching 20 points. We've got 5. So even if we won all 4, that would put us in a very good position. But do you fancy us to do that? Or do you think it's going to be much like the first 4 of the games of the season where we won't get the points we need? That's why it's massively important. As somebody who backs Solskjaer and wants Solskjaer to be successful, and the reason for that, may I just say, is because I believe there is a good manager in him. And I believe that he has been wronged by the board with that midfield, as we spoke about last night. I think he's got, I said with Mourinho, he's got one arm tied behind his back. I feel with Ole, he's like this. Punches are being thrown and he's like, I have got nothing to defend myself with. I've got to try and attack with 2 arms behind my back because my midfield was not provided to me. So I don't want to ever be Solskjaer out. I think there's part of me that can be. I think there becomes a point in any United fan's mind where if we're fighting down the bottom half of the table, you've got to go with poor team selections and poor tactics. Yeah, what's going on upstairs? They're idiots. But come on, what's going on the pitch? You should be doing a lot better than that. I think everybody's got their eyes open to that. And, you tell me. But what worries me is, and why I say Solskjaer's on the ropes, is because we've only got 5 points. And we've got 4 very tough games coming up for Manchester United in the league. I know we've got Carabao Cup and Europa League, but that ain't going to buy anybody time. The Premier League has always been the point where Manchester United measure themselves. Gary Neville said it. Sir Alex Ferguson said it. At the start of the season, yes, it's nice to win the Champions League. Yes, it's nice to win cups. But it's where you are in the Premier League that matters. And at that time, it was about winning the Premier League because second was nowhere. Now, it's about 4th and Champions League football. We take that like winning it. That's how low our expectations are. That's how far we have fallen. But with 5 points from 4 games, you've got to take a minimum of 10 from Leicester, West Ham, Arsenal and Newcastle. And many United fans I speak to are saying, I'll be surprised if we get 7. Well, 5 plus 7 is 12. That's probably going to put you mid-table after 8 games. 8 games is over a fifth of the Premier League season. And the game after that's Liverpool. And we still haven't played City. So it's not like things, or Spurs. So things can get a lot harder before they get better. And that's what I'm on about. At what point do you as a United fan, or I as a United fan, think this is a nightmare? It's not just a bad start, it's a nightmare. And that is why the next few games for Manchester United are hugely important. Absolutely hugely important. And I just want to bring in here as well, because it is the Goldbridge rant, I suppose. But I don't want to rant in the sense to go Solskjaer out. I feel at the moment like a fly stuck in a bowl of custard. I'm like, I know I'm screwed, but I've got loads of energy to fight. I know I'm going to drown. I ain't getting out of here, but I'm going to fight against it because what else can we do? And I think as United fans, you feel like that. And people say to me, why aren't you Solskjaer out when you moan about a lot of what's going on? Look, I'm in, but I'm a moaner. Like, I think of some of the jobs I've had in the past, and like, especially when I used to work in the police, and I had a sergeant that I really loved, but I didn't, not in that way, nothing like that. But I never always agreed with what he told me to do. And he'd always go, well, you're going to do it, aren't you? I said, yeah, because I respect you, and you're the boss, but I'm going to moan about it, but I'll do the job really, really well. And I feel like that about Solskjaer. I'm going to back him. Of course I'm going to back him because I like him and I want him to be a success. But I'm still going to moan about everything I disagree with because that's just what I am like. I think just because you respect somebody and you want somebody to do well, whether it's family or friends, I've said this so many times, doesn't mean you bar like a sheep or go off the cliff like a rat. You've still got to, object to things that you think are important that are not happening. And just very quickly as well, I hear a lot of people talking about there's a comparison between Sir Alex Ferguson and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Sir Alex Ferguson spent around 7 million one season and we finished 13th, but we won the cup or something like that. And people try and compare Sir Alex Ferguson. They tried to do it with Mourinho. Oh, you've got to be patient. They tried to do it with Moyes. Like Gary Neville said, he would have given Moyes another year. Maybe he was right, I don't know. But my point is, this whole comparing Sir Alex Ferguson to the next new manager who's not doing very well, it's redundant, it's silly, because it's a lifetime away. 30 years ago, football's moved on massively from then, but more importantly, nobody ever flips it the other way. Oh, we all want to go back and compare it to Sir Alex Ferguson in the late 80s. Well, he had a bad start, and look what happened with him. Let's give Moyes a chance. Let's give Mourinho, Van Gaal. Let's give Ollie a chance, because look at what happened with Sir Alex. But let's flip it the other way. If Sir Alex Ferguson was around now, he'd be sacked. He would have been sacked after that first year, because football's different. It's moved on. You can't compare something to 30 years ago and say, let's give him 4 years, because that's what we did with Sir Alex. Just like you can't... Sir Alex, if he was around now, he would be sacked. 100%. The start he had at United, he would have been sacked. Finishing 13th in the league, he would have been sacked. So football's moved on, and that is an irrelevant point to me. To you it might matter, but to me it doesn't. What does matter to me is that here we are, 2019-20 season. Never going to win the league. I've said that before. 4th is the expectation. We spoke about it last night. If you're going to finish 4th, you've got to pick points up. And if you're going to finish 4th, you cannot be losing to relegation fodder at home like Palace. You cannot be blowing an opportunity with 20 minutes against another relegation candidate away from home and only coming out with a point when they've got 10 men. That's massive points dropped, and they're not difficult games. That's what worries me the most. When you look at the start to the season, Chelsea at home was a difficult game. Wolves away... Look, I think we should have beat Wolves away last season. We lost twice. I think we should have beaten this year. We drew. There's an improvement there, but I still think that was 2 points dropped. But Palace and Southampton, they're never games that a top 4 club goes, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. We're not bloody Yoda. It's not a challenge. It should have been 6 points. And now, Leicester at home, with all due respect, good team, got to win it. West Ham away, funnily enough, we haven't beat West Ham away for 2 years, so it is potentially a difficult game, but Leicester at home, win it. West Ham, point. Arsenal, point. Newcastle away, win it. 8 points. 8 points onto 5. It's still only 13. That's what we had under Mourinho, and that was a bad start last season. Look at it. Look at it there. I'll show you the bloody picture. There it is. 13 points is what we had last season after 8 games. If we draw with Arsenal and we draw with West Ham, but we beat Newcastle and we beat Leicester, 8 points, that still only puts us on what Mourinho had after what was... Get Mourinho out! Get Mourinho out! Mourinho was out. That was when it started. That 8th game was Newcastle last season. We beat them 3-2 at home from 2-0 down at half-time. And everybody wanted Mourinho sacked. Everybody wanted Mourinho sacked. And there's a very, 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 very big chance that we will be on 13 points or less, hopefully more, under Ollie after 18 games. Read it and weep. 5 points is what we've got at the moment. We've got to get 8 points just to get the 13 that Mourinho had last year. And that means 2 wins and a draw against the teams that we've got. But let's flip it a positive way. If we were to take 10 points, 15 still wouldn't be in the top 4 last season. But yeah, it just shows you the turnaround that Manchester United require and how hard it is going to be. And the reality of what I was saying there, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on the ropes. I don't care what anybody says. People need to wake up and smell the coffee. I think that there is I wish I'd said this at the start, actually. We need to wake up and smell the coffee here. Like, as a fan, as an Ollie inner, we need to wake up and smell the coffee. This is a shit season. This is a shit start to the season. It's got the potential to be an even shitter season. And we need to have our eyes open to that. What I don't like this, and I don't know where you lot sit on this. What I don't like is Paul Scholes, Gary Neville. I love them, not as individuals. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the club, the players. This is what it's gonna be like. It's 3 years job. It's a 3-year job. There's going to be more results like Southampton. There's going to be more frustrations, but I think this is the right process that we're doing. Rashi was unlucky. We were unlucky. We created loads of chances. We've just been really unlucky. I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear that. And I know why they're saying it, because they want Solskjaer to be successful like we do. And Ollie isn't going to come out and say what he said in the dressing room because he's going to protect the players. But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear we were unlucky, because you create your own luck. Like, when you miss a penalty against Southampton, we didn't miss a penalty against them, did we? Wolves and Palace. When you miss a penalty against those, and people are like, if we'd scored those penalties, we would have got a draw or we wouldn't have got beaten. All that drops into my head is, I said this a year ago, I will not let expectations drop for me. They have dropped because reality bites, but my expectation is that United should be fighting for a title every year. We are the Juventus of the English League. We are the Barcelona of the English League. We are the Bayern Munich of the English League. We're just ridiculously underachieving. The size of us, the fan base, we should be fighting for the title every year. We're miles and miles and miles away with that. But when people start saying, fine margins, shove your fine margins right up your arse, right? We're Manchester United. If Man City miss a penalty against Crystal Palace, they go and create another 6 chances and they still win the game. Same with Liverpool, same with other top sides. But with Manchester United, if we miss that golden opportunity, that golden ticket, we're in trouble. That's not bad luck. That's not being a dominant force. That's being a 50-50 fight with a Crystal Palace, and if you miss your chance, you lose the game. That's being, against Wolves, your 50-50 fight, and if you miss the penalty, you don't win the game, you draw it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the margins are so fine that we will lose to a Palace, or we will draw with the Wolves if we don't score the penalty. When the reality is, it's not bad luck. When Manchester United, you miss the penalty, you go and create another 3 chances, you get another penalty. That's what the big clubs do. So when I hear, we're bad, when I hear Ollie saying we were unlucky, I say, well, no, you create your own luck. A half chance is a half chance. You either miss it or you score it. You create your own luck. You create more chances. We're not doing enough of that. And when I hear, ex-players saying there's going to be more Southamptons, it's going to be a frustrating ride ahead, I know that. I already know it. I know it because I know that midfield's not strong enough. I know it because I'm watching the games, and I know it because over the last 6 years we've had loads of Southamptons and Crystal Palaces. We've had Huddersfields away. We've had Newcastle away. We've had Cardiff at home. We've had loads of these games over the last few years. Loads of drop points, loads of draws against crap, loads of losses. We expect it. We don't trust this team. But whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is an ex-legend of the club, or whether he's a mate, or whether I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, I still don't want to hear we're unlucky or excuses. I want solutions. I want solutions at the club, and I want the hard truth. That's not acceptable. That is not acceptable. Like, whether the board have backed him with midfielders in the summer or not, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable that he's on free kicks. There's still so much more they could be doing from set-piece delivery. They've got one of the best players in the world on winning headers, and they're not putting a decent cross into the box. They've got one of the best midfielders in the world at creating chances, and he's playing way too deep in Paul Pogba. They've got fullbacks who can get forward, but they're not committing forward enough. You've got midfielders who can pass forward, but they're not taking risks. You've got strikers who can score goals, but they're missing the chances. These are the sort of things I want to hear, and I'm sure they're happening on the training pitch, but I don't want to hear it in the media, because there just seems to be what frustrates me at the moment is I get people saying, just admit it. I can see it in your eyes. I can read it in your tweets. You're pretending to be Ollie in when you're Solskjaer out. And I'm telling you now, I don't really know anybody who's Ollie out. I see it in the live comments. I see it sometimes in the comments. I see it a bit on Twitter. But I actually always think they're just doing it for effect. They're doing it for attention. They can't logically be Solskjaer out. For me, there is no Solskjaer out argument at the moment because it's way too early to be at that point. That can't be the case. That just can't be the case. It might be in the future, but it can't be the case now. But I do feel that you do get tarred with the negative brush when the point is that I just feel like I'm being real. I feel like I'm being real. I feel like at times like I'm in a box. I'm a man in a box. I wish I could do that. I'm a man in a box. 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 I wish I could do that, but wasted a few seconds there. But I do feel frustrated. And I almost sometimes feel guilty about it. I don't know whether you lot do as well. I feel guilty for moaning, but I almost feel like banging heads together and saying, why is this acceptable? 5 points off after 4 games. Look at our next 4 Premier League games. I can already predict that we're going to be mid-table at the next international break. But I already know everyone will be going, it's early days. It's not Ollie's fault. It's not the players' fault. It's just early days. It's going to be a long process. It's going to be a tough season. And I'm like, why are we making excuses? And I don't mean excuses for Ollie. I mean, why are we making excuses for the fact that Manchester United are shit? Like, there's a whole bigger argument here. It's not just about... I think this is the best point ever. It's not about the manager. We've had 4 managers since Sir Alex Ferguson now. It's not about the manager. The failure at Manchester United is recruitment over the last 6 years, whether it's players, managers, coaching, whatever, lack of, silly wages, whatever. It all comes down to that. And I feel like everybody's letting that off the hook by going, Ollie needs 3 years. Ollie needs 3 years. Let's just sit back. He needs 6 transfer windows. When we've just wasted 1 and we're all going, oh, let's see what happens in January next summer, Mark. We might get our midfielders then. We didn't get them this summer, And as I said before, when you're talking about your 3 years, I always said the 3-year plan was based on getting midfielders in this summer. So for me, it's 4 years now because we haven't got the midfielders. You needed your 2 midfielders in this summer, and then you build over this season and everyone gets used to each other, and then maybe next year you have a title race, and then maybe the year after that you win it. But we haven't even got the midfielders this year. So the progression, the build, this season to me, I'm going to be really harsh here, this season to me almost feels like a write-off. It does. I don't actually know what this season's going to deliver at the moment. I don't get it. I don't feel that we've got an 11 that can compete. I don't. I think we can flirt with top 4 maybe, but I don't feel we've got a team good enough. At the moment, I can't see the vision. I don't know what the best 11 is. What is the best 11? Because for me, the best 11, and this is a hypothetical jump into the dark, would be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, my midfield 3, and this is where I get lost. I don't know. I would probably go McTominay, Fred, Pogba at the moment. But that might not be good enough, I don't know, because the midfield's crap. And then my front 3 would be Martial as the number 9, Dan James on the left, and then right side, I don't know really. I don't know. I think Dan James has got to play on the left, but Rashford plays on the left, and then you're going to put Dan James on the right, and I think he's much better on the left. So I just don't know. And I think this is the problem. I think some people's eyes are wide shut. Like, eyes wide open time. I don't know what our best 11 is. I don't really think we've got a best 11 that is that good because of the lack of investment in the summer. So I don't know what this season feels like. A write-off to me already. And that's so negative, and I don't want it to be, because there's loads of positives we can have. We could get Gomez into the team. We could get Greenwood into the team. We could get Chong into the team. We could get Twansebi into the team. But still, that midfield is a worry, isn't it? It's so high. And the thing is, I'm back being that fly swimming in custard again. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm going to back this club. I'm going to back this manager. I'm going to back these players. But I'm going to moan about it every step of the way because there's so much to be moaning about. But at no point in my current state am I moaning and going, sack the manager. I don't get that. And I should come back to that because I don't get that mentality of being Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Because if you are, or you're even thinking about it, then what next? Like, you bring a new manager in, and what next? What makes you think the board's going to back a manager? Like, this was the most obvious summer to back a manager. Like, Mourinho's gone, fan favourite in charge, showed his potential in the first 3 months. Herrera walks out the door. I feel apologetic to you because I was like, there's no way they're not going to buy midfielders. There's no way they're not going to spend over 100 million quid net. Like, they're going to spend it. And they didn't do it. So anybody who's like, let's get a new manager in, I'm like, for what? To do what? Like, to do what? This club is averaging 30 million spend each transfer window if you count the January ones. What does a new manager do? It's a hopeless situation if you actually think through it, because we've got what we've got. We need Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over the next 4 Premier League games before the next international break. We need positive results. We need to beat Leicester. We need to beat West Ham. We need to try and get something out of Arsenal, and then we need to beat Newcastle. If we can take 10 points from these next 4 games, and I pray we do, then we've got something to build on. We have got something to build on, because what we need more than anything is this manager and this coaching setup and this set of players to do something. Because if you're thinking of being Ollie out, I'll tell you what, it's going to be worse than this. We need an against the odds success, like we did with the first 3 months with Ollie. We need that to happen again. We need it to be successful, because the club cannot sink much lower. It can go lower, but it's only going to get worse. And do you want that to happen? I don't want that to happen, because I don't see a solution. All I see is a continued change with the same people in charge doing the same things. We need a defiance. We need an against the odds revival, like I say. We need a miracle. We need hope. We need luck. We need something that many of us reality think this can't happen. You know, I can see people going 10 points. You're having a bloody laugh from those 4 games, but we need that. If we want to get 4th place and try and rebuild, we're going to have to do it against the odds. That's what it is at United at the moment. And as I said, I think it is just about opening your eyes to the reality of the situation, and then trying in your head to, as I say, it's like a confusion. I feel I see people being positive, but then I ask them why they're being positive. Oh, you just got to be. Well, I can't stand that mentality. Win, lose or draw, I'll back the lads. Idiots. Yeah, I really think that's an idiotic opinion, and other people obviously do that, so let me be respectful. But as a personal person, I think win, lose or draw, I'll support United, lads. I'll support United, it's fine. But win, lose or draw, well, that's idiotic. So they can turn up, play like they do, be absolutely shit, but you'll be there to go, yay! I don't agree with that. So I think so many United fans probably aren't spending enough time thinking it through at the moment. Like, where are you at? What are you going to do over the next few weeks? Because especially the next 4 Premier League games, if we're mid-table at the next international break, what are you going to do? Are you just going to go, it's a crap season, let's just continue? Because there might be some really bad team selections from there while we've lost the game. We might lose to Leicester 4-0 because Lingard and Rashford and Mata and Matic are playing. You've got to think about this season, because it's going to change like a roller coaster. You're going to go up and you're going to go down. You either need to try and convince yourself to stick to a path, or you've got to have it in your head that if certain things happen, I will change my opinion. That, for me, at the moment, I'm desperate to stay Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. I said it in the summer, I'm desperate to do it, because all I want Ole to do is pick the right team and the right tactics. And if he does those 2 things, I'll stick with him. Because that's all he can do. That's all he can do. He can't produce midfielders that we didn't get. And if he does that and we fail, then all my frustration will be aimed upstairs. If we produce bad results and he's picking the wrong players and the wrong tactics, my frustration will be aimed upstairs, but Ollie will have to have some of it. But I still wouldn't want to be Ollie out with that, because I don't see that as a solution. I don't see sacking another manager being a solution. I don't. I almost stubbornly want to say he's got to stay, because you have got it wrong again and you are at fault, not him. That's what in an ideal world, that's what I would want to happen in a worst case scenario. But that's far easier said than done. You know what it's like. You're watching a watch along, you're seeing the tactics unfold, you do a match reaction. We lost that because he bloody subbed him on, or he picked him. Ridiculous, he's not good enough. You know that is a reality. We all flip-flop on that. We can't help it. But it's a very changeable situation at Manchester United at the moment, and it's a very difficult situation. And I think the only way out of it that's going to help our football club and help us as fans is if we go into these next 4 games, we take 10 points. Because we want to be on that league table after 8 games. And I know that's 4, that's now. I know that's last season. But it ain't going to change that much. With 5 points from 4 games, in 4 games' times, how many points do you want to add on? Because to be in 10th, we've got to get 7. To be in 9th and 8th, you've got to get 8 points. Even if we won all 4, we would only be 5th. That's the scary thing, because that's 12 on to 5. That would give us 17. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of difference with those teams. So it's about where when we're having this conversation at the next international break, it's about where are we going to be, and then where you're going to be as a United fan in your head, because that's the most important thing. And that's the realism, and that's the reality, and that's a fact. What are we going to be doing as United fans? Because it's going to change. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But what I'm saying is the only way out of this is the positivity. Because straight after those 4 games, wherever we are, we got Liverpool. I don't think we can beat Liverpool. I think Liverpool beat us every day of the week. Last year, I thought we could beat Liverpool because I actually thought our midfield was good. Like Herrera, Matic, Pogba were doing a good job. I don't think we can beat Liverpool now. We can beat Liverpool, but they'll be massive favourites whenever we play them because they're a better team. So whatever we do over the next 4 Premier League games, you've then got Liverpool after that. And Man City aren't far after that. And Spurs aren't far after that. So slim pickings. It's real, people. It's real. I think some United fans are like, oh, it will sort itself out. It's not going to sort itself out. It can sort itself out, but it's not just going to sort itself out. It's going to take hard work from Ollie. It's going to take really hard work from the players. We've got to work our way out of this, and that is the best way out. I know it's obvious to say that, but I still think that there are some people who think, I don't rate Ollie. I think actually we could do with another manager, but that won't be a solution. It won't be a solution. We've had Mourinho, who was one of the best managers in the world. We had Van Gaal, a brilliant tactician. We had Moyes, Premier League proven. All right, not top 4 proven, but he knew the Premier League. They all failed. So Ollie failing, let's get another manager. What are we going to try this time? We've tried everything. The solution is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's the best thing that can happen for us as a fan base. And that's why I moan, but ultimately I'm Ollie in. I am frustrated, but I am Ollie in. I am concerned, but I am Ollie in. Because that, to me, is the best solution. I want it to turn round. But as I said, we've got 5 points. We've got 4 games. We've got 12 points to play for. And after a fifth of the season really, it takes shape. By the start of October, you pretty much know how the season's going to go. And we already know Liverpool and Man City are going to run away with it. We don't know who else is going to go with them. There's an opportunity for us there. But I would say that the game next week against Leicester's huge, because if we lose to Leicester have got 8 points. We've got 5. If they beat us, they're 6 points ahead of us. 6 points is quite significant. It is quite significant. So I've said it from the summer. I've said it every week. Every game for United's a cup final. Every game's a cup final. But I just want to be happy. As a football fan, I just want to be happy. I want to be positive. I want to be excited. I want to be encouraged. And that's the saddest thing, is that this club, whether it's owners, Woodward, whoever, I don't need to name names. This club has taken the joy out of supporting Manchester United. And people say that's dramatic or whatever. We're never going to stop supporting this club. We love this club, and that is a joyful thing. But what's hard and takes the joy out of it is going into a season and knowing it's pretty much going to be shit and it's only just started. That's really hard. That's really hard. And the only people to blame for that are the people upstairs. Because, as I've said, I heard somebody say, well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's at fault for not buying a midfielder. Look, you give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 300 million, he's going to spend it. If we and you go down to the co-op today and I go, there's 40 quid, spend what you like, you're going to spend 40 quid, aren't you? You're not going to give me a 30 quid back unless you're an idiot. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not at fault for the lack of spending in the summer. If he's given an open checkbook, he'll spend the bloody checkbook. It's nothing to do with him, that. The joy takers are the people upstairs, the bean counters, the people who treat us like a bank. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm Ollie in. And I think the only way out of this positively is positive results. But what do you think is going to happen, and how are you feeling about it? Because I think too many United fans have got their head in the clouds. I think some even respected ex-players, when they talk about, we're going to get more results like that, it's going to be a tough 2 or 3 years. I just think it's a really lackadaisical comment. Because where's your... I'm going to quote Paul Robinson, one of the mods. Where's the philosophy? Where's the tactics? Where's the best 11? And how can you sit there and say it's going to take 3 years under Ollie when we don't know it's going to take 3 years, because it could get really bad? And at what point does it get so bad that you say, I like Ollie, but he ain't the right man? Or at what point does it get so bad that people go, we can't have this anymore. I think fans need to sort of think it through, because we've got 5 points and 4 difficult games. And we could be in a worse position at the next international break. And then the one after that, we got Liverpool. So we could be we could hit November and be in the bottom half of the table. I don't care who's in charge. That's unacceptable for the squad that we've got. Ollie's doing this with 2 arms behind his back. No doubt about it. But things have got to get better. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.